episode of Play Unplugged TV. I'm your host, Enrico Nardini, and I have with me from Trip West Games, Ars Victor, the 1-hour war game. This is a limited edition copy. From my understanding, it's the one that I think you would get part of the kit. I believe this was another Kickstarter product, though you might be able to, yes, it was funded with Kickstarter, and you may actually be able to get another get this limited edition copy retail now. It's a really neat concept, and I have to confess, I've already looked in here. So this is an unboxing more for the viewer than a lot of times I just unbox it without ever having looked at it. This one I did open up and check out, but I thought it was worthy of doing a video of before the review anyway, just to give some people a chance to check it out. It's a kind of a unique product. It's a neat looking war game, and we'll take a look at it under the close cam. But first, just to give you a really quick overview of what's in here, the box is just packed full of stuff. Here are the rules. These cards, some dice. There is also a sheet with some errata, not much, just a little one. Some unit reference and quick reference sheets, and then tons and tons of unit cards and the things that make up the game, these boards that make up the game. So we'll take a closer look. Alright, so let's take a look at what you get in here. The first thing is that you get, there are some cards. We'll talk about those really briefly, and there are some dice, and we'll talk about those. The cards are used for giving orders to units, and whenever you play the game, you have a blue side and a red side. And so the cards have a suit and a number of orders. That comes into the gameplay. And then there are also, because there are different dice, some of the dice are more powerful, some are weaker, there are some proprietary dice with different symbols on them that are also used in the game when you attack. And they're pretty nice. I'll put those away. They have a couple different symbols on them. They mean different things in the game, but once again, check out the review on playunplugged.com when it comes up. It's not up yet. But that will explain more in detail how you actually play. This is more about giving you a chance to look at the components. There is a book. The book has a lot of nicely detailed pictures that go along with the art style. It's got a very cartoony art style, though some of the images are kind of evocative of other things that are going on in contemporary war game, science fiction war games. There definitely are some homages here, at least in my opinion. I don't know if they were actually intentional by the creator, but when you look at some of these, they look reminiscent of some things from other science fiction games. However, this is really neat in a lot of ways because it takes kind of the approach that you would be familiar with maybe a game like something from Decision Games, a traditional hex-based war game with counters, and it comes at it from a science fiction approach. It tries to, in a lot of ways, it's like a very compressed version of, say, a game like Warhammer 40K, a big battle game, or Epic 40K. But at the same time, it comes at it from that approach, but it's just got a lot of neat little moving parts. You can see this is the book. It's staple bound, and it's not going to be the most durable thing, so you got to be careful with it. It's not like a super durable book, but it's fine for what it completely accomplishes what it's supposed to be. And you can see, like I said, lots of examples, bright, colorful. Same thing goes when you see the counters. Here are the unit references. The Empire of Man and the Ancient Hegemony. They don't have to fight each other. You can have two Empire of Man armies fighting each other. You could have two, because under each unit thing, you're going to, under each unit, whatever you want to call these things, you're going to slip another thing underneath that's going to identify whether it's on the red side or the blue side, the attacker or defender. So they can fight each other. But like I said, when you look at these, you're definitely going to say to yourself, these kind of look somewhat similar to other things I've seen. But, hey, it's science fiction, it's science fiction with maybe a little bit of fantasy elements in it too. And everything's evocative of everything. And, no idea is completely original. So here's that errata we talked about. So here are the actual counters. And you can punch these out. These are ones for the Ancient Hegemony. And so these counters, they go on top of, you see you get a bunch of them. So more for the Ancient Hegemony. Here are a bunch for the Empire of Man. And these are what allow you to, when you're placing units, they're going to go on top of this. This lets you delineate which unit goes to which side. So this would be like the red side or the blue side. They're order markers. These are wound counters that allow you to keep track of the number of wounds a unit's taken. Now this is where I said I cheated a little bit and looked at this stuff first. I really got a kick out of the hex-based terrain and the board setup in general. And so basically, oops, dropping stuff all over the place. Inside here are a number of terrain hexes, and there's a couple different ways you can set them up. There are preset scenarios, and you can set them up like that. But there is also a mechanic for setting them up completely in like a unique way with your opponent. But these all interlock together, which is really neat. And I'm not going to build the full board because I actually don't have the room for it right in front of my camera. But these objective counters also go on, and they can go on depending on where they are on the board. You can flip them, so they can fit in one of these city squares if that's where the objective needs to be. If it needs to be over just plain open field, it can be there. If your objective's in the woods, it could be there. You could use this one. Like I said, there's a lot of neat options, and these terrain features actually do come into play in the game. Also, when you're creating your board, you're going to create two borders around it, and these are going to let you track different factors in the game. The most important being this glory track, because once you reduce your opponent's glory to 0, you've won. So, and they make sure to keep, once again, there are a lot of, they make good use of the space. These are full of either things for tracking or rules explanations or things for your setup, which you can do on your turn. So really good use of components. From what I've seen so far, my early opinion is this is really neat, really well thought out. And if it really does play well in an hour, that'll be very impressive. Another thing is, if you check out Ars Victor, if you look up their YouTube channel for Trip West Games, they actually have a video explaining how to play, and it is one of the most complete, well-arranged videos for that kind of thing, for how to play a board, or in this case, wargame. Really well done. So I'd say it'd be worth checking out. Oh, really quick, I'll just pull out one of these hexes again, so you can see how a unit like these wardens, let's say with this suit, they would fit neatly in this hex, and that would be like the space that they occupy in the game, and so they could move and things like that, or get pushed back from fire, but that's how things will move around on the board. That was Ars Victor, the 1-hour war game. For more news, reviews, and hobby tips, you can check out playunplugged.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and thanks.